So it's right around 9:15 p.m. on Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. And this is the second video I've had to make in the last 30 minutes about some extremely aggressive, psychotic, and disruptive behavior coming from the three sex offenders that the Greenville group has chosen to place in all three adjacent units to mine. As I keep mentioning in these videos, I am not a criminal, a sex offender, or even a Section 8 tenant. I've always had to work full-time in a master's level capacity to pay my rent out of pocket, and I continue to have to pay my rent out of pocket. But the Greenville group doesn't like that. They prefer tenants who are criminally insane, who are sex offenders, who have really long criminal rap sheets, such as Charles Thomas, who lives across the street, who refused to stop coming towards me and getting aggressive and disruptive and making threats towards me whenever he sees me coming or going from the office specifically. They love tenants like Mr. Thomas. The Greenville group actually went to court to help Mr. Thomas in his case that the Commonwealth brought against him for issuing threats against me. I was the victim in the case. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts charged Mr. Charles Thomas with crimes against me, and the Greenville group actually went to court to support Mr. Thomas, even though Mr. Thomas is a low-life scum thug, career criminal who does absolutely nothing with his sad, wasted life. The Greenville group loves criminals. I'm not sure why. Maybe they have like an uncle who's in jail or something, but they prefer tenants who are criminals. So they've chosen to place sex offenders in all three adjacent units to mine, and these sex offenders engage in some very aggressive, disruptive behaviors that prevent me from being able to use this unit as I need to and when I need to. And 30 minutes ago, I had to make a video about how I was lying on my bed trying to rest because I've had 2 days off from work now, but I actually have to head back to work tomorrow and fill out some transitional paperwork for HR in order to continue at my company in a full-time capacity. And I have to get up early for that. And the psychopath and sex offender, who is also a criminal for hire named Jasmine Irizarry, who continues to smoke marijuana in the bathroom of the vacant unit located directly behind the wall of my kitchen sink, which is just 3 feet from my bed. She likes to use some type of remote-controlled electronic stun gun or some type of similar device, right? Because she sits behind this wall right here, smoking marijuana for hours and getting really disruptive against this wall. There's a lot of banging noises also coming from the bathroom behind this wall. It's supposed to be vacant and empty. But because the Greenville group continues to leave it vacant and empty, the same psychopath who actually was housed in that unit for 9 of the last 10 years is able to somehow access the premises of her former unit. And she engages in the same exact pattern of disruptive, aggressive, psychotic behavior against this wall right here as she did during the 9 years that she officially lived in that unit. So as you can see, it's maybe like, what, 2 feet? 2.5 feet from my bed to this sink, and she sits behind that wall and uses some type of remote-controlled stun gun device or electronic assault device that is similar to a remote-controlled stun gun. Obviously, I have no way of knowing exactly what it is, but what I do know is what I've been experiencing from this device used by Irizarry for the last 5 years now. And what it is basically some type of stun gun device or taser that literally zaps you while you're, in just doing whatever you need to do. And she uses this device only when I do certain things in this unit, but not others. So it's very predictable. If I lie on my bed, flat on my back, facing the ceiling, and don't cover myself up with something, she starts to use this electronic assault device to zap me while I'm lying there. She also zaps me when I'm sitting on the toilet, even though there's no electronic equipment around my toilet that could possibly be causing an electronic shock. And also when I'm in the shower. Again, there's no electrical plugs around my shower with anything plugged into them that could possibly be causing electronic shock. But because she's sitting directly against the wall of my shower stall and toilet, which is the same wall of my kitchen sink, right? So this wall right here is also the same wall that her bathroom shares with my toilet, which is right there. It's the same corner of her bathroom. She's just, 10 inches away? So sure, she can use an electronic assault device like a remote-controlled stun gun. And now the Creep in 88 is blasting really loud movie soundtrack. It's 9:15 p.m. Not everybody wants to listen to that when they're trying to relax at 9:15 p.m. But because he's so loud, everybody is being forced to listen to his movie soundtrack, even though other people might have other things they like to listen to in the privacy of their units, besides this psychotic thug's loud, violent movie soundtrack that he's always blasting, regardless of the time of day. So now I have to leave another voicemail for Greenville.
You've reached the Greenville Real Estate Group. Our office hours are from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Our office is currently closed. If this is an emergency, please press 1. Otherwise, press 2 to leave a voicemail for the front office. After the tone, please leave a detailed message with your name and number so we may get back to you when we return.
Hi there. It's right around 9:15 p.m. on Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. This is a third voicemail that I'm leaving from Unit 89 today because of some very disruptive behavior from the sex offenders and psychopaths who you have chosen to place in all three adjacent units to mine. And about 35 minutes ago, I left a voicemail for Greenville regarding the ongoing use by your psychopath, sex offender, and criminal for hire named Jasmine Irizarry of some type of electronic assault device that Ms. Irizarry likes to use on me when I lie on my bed, flat on my back facing the ceiling, and when I'm not covered up. That's when she starts to use this electronic assault device to literally electronically zap me while I'm lying on my bed. She also likes to use this electronic assault device when I use the toilet, even though I don't have any electronic equipment around the toilet, and also when I'm in the shower, even though I also don't have any electronic equipment around my shower stall. And these episodes of electronic assault that Ms. Irizarry continues to engage in have been happening since 2017, and I've been reporting them in writing to the Greenville group for 4 years now. These types of electronic devices exist. I don't know exactly what type of electronic device she's using, but because she sits in the bathroom directly behind the wall of my kitchen sink smoking marijuana for hours, she pinpoints her own location in the building and likes to let me know that she's just a few feet away. So whatever kind of device she's using obviously doesn't need to have a very long range of access. She's basically just 5 feet away on the other side of the wall of my bathroom or of my kitchen sink. Electronic assault devices such as remote controlled stun guns are available for commercial purchase on various websites, including Amazon. But even if it's not exactly a remote controlled stun gun, other types of similar devices exist and are most likely available for sale on specialty websites and maybe even for purchase from the military or from law enforcement. So you do the math. She's using some type of electronic assault device to zap me while I'm lying on my bed trying to rest. And at the same time, the sex offender in Unit 88 directly next door to mine has been blasting really loud movie soundtrack or video game noise constantly since 5 p.m. And it is now 9:15 and he continues to blast this really loud, unnecessarily disruptive movie or video game soundtrack continuously for hours at a time. It's so loud that it sounds like thunder and it drowns out anything else that anybody else might be trying to listen to or hear. So if I'm having a conversation in my unit and this sex offender in 88 is blasting his movie soundtrack, it is hard for me to have this conversation on the phone because his noise is louder than my conversation. This is a breach of habitation. It's a violation of the lease, and it prevents me from being able to do what I need to do in my unit when I need to do it. You guys are charging me rent for this, but I do not have to pay rent for an environment that is unsafe, that is not private, and where I continually am getting harassed, electronically assaulted, and where my personal activities are being viewed somehow through some sort of surveillance devices on a continuous basis by other tenants who then react to what I do in the privacy of this unit. If you have any questions, I can be reached at 617-459-0208. I will be following up in writing. The Boston police detectives have confirmed that they were aware of the use of surveillance devices in my bathroom starting in 2017, but when I had a conversation with them a few months ago, they were not able to confirm whether or not those devices were still in this unit. However, I can tell you those devices are still in this unit because the psychopath who keeps electronically assaulting me with some type of remote-controlled stun gun does it only when I do certain things in this unit, but not others. So again, as I mentioned in my prior voicemail, I'll be taking Ms. Irizarry to court because Greenville has chosen to continue to house her in this building complex, even though she's criminally insane and uses some highly illegal electronic equipment and tactics to harass other tenants. Thank you. So when your landlord is a criminal organization, then the tenants are going to be criminals as well. And nobody is going to do anything about the criminal activities of these tenants who the criminal landlord chooses to rent to, obviously.